Hey, hello everybody. It's me, Islam Al Ghazali, and today I'm gonna share a video review on this tool which is called Once Video Analyzer Pro. This tool I use for some of my videos which I will be posting and posted online for post-match football reviews. Even though it's not a football review match, it is still relevant to the channel and the sport. This is a tool where a lot of other people probably have used, liked, disliked, and so forth. So I wanted to give my honest review about this, how I felt about it, some of the things I wished it had, some of the things I like and use, and so forth. So, with that, let's get cracking to the review. The navigation here is very straightforward, very simple. I liked it a lot. Here you have two options. The first option is Analyze, where you give it a title and you select video and then you select your sport of choice. There's six main sports here and then you have another option. So if your sport does not fall into these categories, you can always go with other. Here, the video analysis allows you to take the video, snip it into pieces in your timeline, and then use these timeline pieces to do your drawings and then export them out as a highlight video. The Telestrator, on the other hand, same thing, title, check a video. The Telestrator, on the other hand, doesn't allow you to cut down videos into pieces. It takes pre-cut videos, so if you already have a highlight video created from another tool, you can import it in here. And what you can do with this is quick and easy drawings on top of your particular videos. So that is the main difference between the Analyze and Telestrator from what I can figure out so far. From there, you have your projects, things you've worked on, things you are working on, and then you have this add actions and players, which is pretty neat. You can add different actions in the attacking or in the defending or in other phases, and you can also add players for tagging. The cool thing is you can assign your own keyboard key, and then you can quickly use that key to take the recording. The red dot here means that this is going to be recording until you stop it. If you don't want that, you just specify how long the recordings will be for that particular action when you press that particular key. So if you make it 10 seconds, that means it will take a 10-second snippet for you without you needing to record and unrecord. I like it to be that way so I can actually specify the actual duration rather than give it a duration itself. The other thing would be the join and convert videos. Here you can add multiple videos, join them all together into one main video, or convert a video into a particular format. The other thing is the live analysis. The live analysis requires a integrated camera. So if you have one of those cameras where it can follow the player around, I believe this will be interesting to capture live analysis of the actual game. And you can specify again your particular sport here and start the stream and live analysis. For me, I use the analysis and Telestrator. So let's get rolling with the analysis. If I click on my project here, as you can see, my actions are right there. Let me just mute this. So I have to mute because it's loud. So I go into the volume control and I just mute it that way. It would be nice if there's a way to automatically mute it, but that's me being nitpicky as a user. What I want to do here first is click on this question mark. Here it gives us the control options. You will note that one of the controls to pause and play is the shift. Now, normally, if you press shift a lot, so if you're gonna play, then go through the segment and wanna pause it and rewind, you're gonna be pressing shift a lot, and then you will get the famous sticky shift key error. And we also know any play media that we use, we're accustomed to using the spacebar to play and pause. So this just changes the norm. in my opinion. Again, being nitpicky here, I would like to have been able to change this to space after the fact, so I came here and do some control settings, but I can't. Other control settings are going to be escape to close, which is very generic, right? Simple to do. Everyone does it. Press space to close. So I give them thumbs up for that. 1 through 5 is going to be the speed. Tab is to move to the next field. Enter is going to be to select action or player. Same thing as space. Space is going to allow you to record and tag the particular segment you want. And the arrow keys are going to make you move forward or backwards. Left, right are going to move forward, backwards 5 seconds. Up, down are going to make you move um, 1 second forward or 1 second increment. So these are the controls. Again, just the space and the shift are my particular issue here. Everything else looks very straightforward. Well done. So let's take a look at the spacebar. So if I press the spacebar, it gives me this window here so I can actually add a new action or search for an existing action, add a new player, search for an existing player, and add notes, start recording, mark it as my favorite or if it was good or bad, and then specify which area it falls under and click start recording and it will do the rest. It's very neat. I would have said maybe this could be the shift instead of the space, but that is just me. So let me do the pause from here instead of the shift button. Once we get your segments, you can actually see the timeline here on the right navigation bar. And a lot of other tools I have seen where the timeline is just a portion right under the video and it looks like an actual timeline. So you can actually drag and drop, drag backwards and forwards in that timeline on that particular play. Here is just a list. Again, other tools have it as a timeline. It's very convenient rather than clicking on here and then moving through here. Again, I might be nitpicky, but it would be cool if it's similar to other tools that are also out there. Here's the timeline. You can again specify as good, bad, or favorite it. These are going to be filters used in the drawing, so you can use them to filter out some of these snippets. You can add replace player, replace action, meaning if you put something under defending, you can switch it to attacking, add note, play, draw, we'll take a look at shortly, and then edit the duration. So you can edit the duration right here by just bringing this backwards and forward. The other thing is you can rename and delete, but the other thing I want to mention here is there is no option to duplicate this segment. So if I'm doing a video on the two teams, attacking and defending for both teams, I would like to duplicate that particular segment that I've seen the home team attack. I want to also point out some defending moments for the away team on that particular one. So it would have been nice to have a duplicate function here. But nonetheless, what you can do is your keyboard, you can actually press multiple actions at the same time and it will do the recording for the three actions. So that was my kind of workaround to that particular issue. Again, it's more convenient if I can right click and duplicate, but you can press two actions at the same time and it will record for the two actions. Other than that, I think the timeline is very straightforward. Again, it's a list, it's not really a timeline at the bottom. Other tools have it that way. This tool has it this way. So maybe in the next updates or something like that, maybe it can be a feature request. I'll leave that to their product team. The other thing, let's go in the drawing. The drawing I really enjoyed, some of it, and some of it I did not enjoy. What I enjoyed really and I loved, let's start with that, is the player move. You just grab a particular player on the field, drag a box, and move him where he's supposed to go, or move him where you want him to go. So if he's supposed to go here, or actually went there, you would do it that way. It has a neat arrow that shows where the player is going, and it returns the player back to the original spot. I loved it. The other thing I loved is this player formation area. So as you can see here, I highlighted four players, and in between them there's one player. So I wanted to highlight that he is in this area between the four players. So it's probably impossible to pass it to him because he has a lot of players around him. The other thing I enjoyed as well would be the zoom functionality. This one I actually see that it has 5 zoom. This is 5 zoom, so it's a little bit pixelated. That's just the video quality, not the zoom. But you can do a 5 times zoom, which is pretty neat. I have not seen it in a lot of tools. And the final thing I loved is this spotlight. The spotlight for me is probably the best after the player move, in my opinion. I liked it a lot because you can highlight multiple players and the spotlight does not collide with one another. In different tools, your spotlight will literally look like a spotlight beaming down, and if you have multiple spotlights, you'll see them colliding with one another. Here, they don't collide with one another, which is, in my opinion, amazing job there. And the area. The area, you can use it as you can see here to highlight an open area behind the defense or an open pocket somewhere. Some people like me would like to use the regular shapes like the square or the circle. There is no option to draw shapes here other than doing the hands-free draw, which you can see is very cool. But if you're like me and you want the quick shapes, unfortunately, that option is not here. You have to use probably this one to do a quick shape, and then you have to make it so it looks like a triangle, square. Unfortunately, you cannot make it into a circle, so it has to be a hexadecimal or a hexagon. With that being said, these were some of the things I found that was not so great. Other than that, I click on this and let's say I specify that this is going to be black. Again, sometimes it does this and sometimes it works. So this one, I found it kind of annoying in my opinion. Now, if I navigate to the arrow, for example, and then I navigate back to the line, it's black, which is cool. But sometimes it does that weird glitch where I select black and it doesn't put it as black. Again, could be user error, but I found that to happen to me more than once, so if it's user error, I managed to deal with it by just redoing everything. If it's not user error, maybe it's something to be fixed. This one I really enjoyed as well. You can do multiple colors, change it, so forth, which I loved. So if I want to draw another area here in blue, yeah, like that, I can do that. Pretty cool stuff. And then you have the option to make it 2D or 3D. 2D will make the objects as two-dimensional. For me, in this sport, it's not ideal. Maybe for other sports it is, but for this one, it's not ideal. So 3D would be the portion I would use. So this is what I liked, what I didn't like about the drawing. Um, and then you can actually export these out with the drawing or without the drawing, and you can export with statistics, or you can actually just export this into an XML file and use it elsewhere. One thing that I found interesting in the export, you can join them all into one video, so you've created your highlight video, or you can do it separately, or you can even put it in a folder and make them separate videos. If you click cancel here, it still thinks it wants to export for some odd reason and it gives me this window. So for me, I don't know if it's per design or not, but this is something being nitpicky and my background being in technology is something I want to point out. Delete functionality is going to delete everything on the screen, which is cool, so you don't have to delete thing one by one. And that's pretty much the tool set in the drawing in a nutshell. Again, what I liked, what I didn't like, I would request if they have the quick shapes. That would be awesome to use for people like me. If I move back and we actually go to the Telestrator, which is this one here, you see here different, you don't have snippets here. Again, Telestrator, you would already have your snippets, but here you can press space and it works as intended. So the space bar actually is stop start, which is pretty cool. Here I can then use the area. One thing also to mention, the area I use it as like a goal line or goal view to see where the goal is and to also see where the player's view of the goal is. So if he has a clear shot or not. So that's why I like the area. I like to use it in that regards. I do not like to use it in the regards of pockets in the place, but other people can use it that way. And that's the intention for it. For me, I prefer the square or circular shapes, the quick shapes. Here, same stuff. You'll just need to figure out if you have any snippets here, and then you can mark them favorite, unfavorite, and filter down. Here is pretty much purely to draw, not to take snippets, unlike the other portion, which we showed. The only thing that's missing here is this export statistics, obviously because here you're just doing drawing and you're not doing analysis in the sense of like doing statistics and so forth. So that was the couple of things I wanted to highlight here, the good, the bad, what I liked. Hopefully you'll get to check it out. If you like it as well, try the trial and see how it goes for you. I enjoyed it. I'm still testing it out, looking to see if there's any other thing I can pick out here. But here you have a lot of interesting languages as well. So overall, this tool is not too bad, just I'm being nitpicky at certain points, but I think a lot of other people would have the same questions as well. So, with that, this concludes my review of the Once Video Analyzer Pro. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out the tool and see you on the next episode. Take care. Cheers.